Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. Greetings and salutations, positive heads. Here we go again. So happy to be back with you all. It is a magical Monday as I record here in the studio. Hope you are doing magical whenever you are tuning into this broadcast. Got some things and stuff and whatnots to cover today. I got some questions, some reviews to read. Just coming off of doing a first live broadcast yesterday, recording a future interview with Christopher David Jackson. That was awesome experience, although we didn't realize until after. We're like setting up and doing test recordings and everything looks great. Well, one of the things we didn't realize when we went live and then never looked at the camera again, it was sideways. So any of you who caught any of the broadcast, as I said to Chris after, it's like, we're a little sideways. It's all good. It's the first one. People can turn their phones if they're watching on their phone. But yeah, so those will improve. Next time they'll be right side up. But it was a fun experience, and I look forward to doing more of that. So you guys got to see a little glimpse into the magical weirdness that is the Positive Head Studio. You got a little glimpse in. So we'll be continuing to do those from time to time, and it was fun. A lot of fun doing that. So let's see. Diving into today's episode. What shall we do? Well, I'm going to start off with reading a review. A couple reviews, actually, since they're short and sweet. This one is by Aaron Barber. One said, life-changing. I'm a new listener, and I can't get enough. I've always felt something deeper than what I was shown as a child. Your podcast has opened my eyes to a new path. Thank you. Keep fighting the good fight. Oh, well, thank you, Aaron, for completing the Circle of Love. I'm putting out into the world with this Labor of Love project, and it certainly fuels my fire to keep doing what I'm doing. And and of course, by reviewing on iTunes, you're helping us to reach new people as well. So thank you for that. One more here from MG Hugh. So good. My daily dose of positivity. One of the best podcasts out there. Oh, what a compliment. That's, thank you, MG Hugh. That is, there's a lot of podcasts out there. So that is a tremendous compliment. And, I will, keep on fighting the good fight. So if you haven't reviewed on iTunes, please do so. As I mentioned, it helps us to reach new people and share with family, friends. I have some interesting ideas about sharing and gamifying the whole sharing process and playing with that that I'm going to be talking about soon. So in the meantime, let anyone know that you think may benefit, about the show. That would, you never know who you're going to help, who needs it. And oftentimes it's going to find its way to whoever's ready for the information, whoever's resonating ultimately. But you can all play a role in that process. So also, if you have questions, be sure to write in Brandon at positivehead.com or jump on our Facebook group, Positive Heads with an S. We have a lot of lovely listeners, soul fam, connecting there, sharing, supporting one another. It's such a beautiful thing to behold. We'd love to have you in there as well. So you can also write your questions in through the Facebook group, which people do from time to time. So and you get the added benefit of other listeners we have a lot of very wise souls chiming in. So you get perspective from not only me, but others oftentimes. So that's a great place to post your questions. All right, then. What are we going to talk about today? Well, speaking of questions, I had one come in from Tom, and Tom said, hey, Brandon, so I'm using the law of attraction the law of attraction to manifest the reality of my dreams. This, however, has brought quite the conundrum of a question. The way I understand this practice is as, and these are bullet points. First bullet point, imagining the desired outcome or manifestation and picturing it in your mind. 2, putting energy into this idea, either while meditating or sharing your idea with others. 3, being thankful for the current scenario and remaining humble while trusting that the manifestation will follow your good feeling. 4, watch as your desire is manifested in a way much grander and synchronistic than you had imagined. Now, the following is a part of this that I'm looking for further insight upon. Holding the manifestation and talking like you have said manifestation already assists in speeding the manifestation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it also makes you sound arrogant and entitled, to speak of which you do not have, like you already possess it. Even if you stay humble in your mind and try to explain your surrender in the creation of the manifestation, some people may not care and write you off as a jerk anyways. If that makes any sense at all, how does one hold the vibration of a desired reality and not be seen as entitled? Good question, Tom. Thank you so much for writing in. And yeah, there's a fine line between someone being entitled, entitled, I think of someone like you owe me something for whatever reason I've determined. And this isn't so much as, you're not coming from a stance of being entitled, more of a knowing that ultimately you are the creator of your own reality and you can manifest that which you seek. And even if you are setting the intention and it doesn't show up exactly as you maybe envisioned, you release all those expectations. And so you're sort of floating through life and what will come will be even better for you. You always get what you need, right? It's always, what's the famous song, you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. That's for sure. And so, yeah, I don't, one of the big things here is you certainly want to remain humble. And life, the universe is a respecter of no men to some degree, or women. So you're going to get humbled at times. And so, I mean, I guess it is a respecter, but when I say that, meaning, you're going to be served humble pie at some point. It's good for you. Medicine doesn't always taste good, but it's good for the soul. And so all of these things come into account. I mean, we're talking of mixing all these different understandings and realities into one big pot, and you get, outcomes Tom or whoever trying, creating that world, living their life. And a big part of what you said here is, putting energy into the idea while meditating or sharing ideas with others. And I think this might be the key to, of course, this is where the problem is arising, where the question comes from. I'm looking like a jerk. I don't want to feel like a jerk, looking arrogant, whatever. Instead of sharing your ideas with others, and of course, this is coming from someone who has done a lot of sharing of my ideas, obviously, right? But what I've learned, and it's taken me a while, and I'm still learning. I always say we teach best what we most need to learn, right? Why I'm doing this podcast. But one of the things that was mentioned to me a while back by a good friend, he was talking about, I was very excitedly talking about my ideas, and he started talking about, very wise individual. Actually, you can hear him, one of the first podcasts, Pablo Miller. We talk about the plant medicine ayahuasca, and, he's had a lot of experience leading those ceremonies with that medicine. And in this case, it was one of those ceremonies I was partaking in. And he started talking about the idea of leakage. Like, look, when you put all your ideas out there, sort of even prematurely before they have a lot of momentum, it's like it's leakage. It's like you're letting the idea out. It sort of disempowers it even in some way. It's like, imagine you're building up energy. You're building up power within yourself for this thing, this manifestation. And now you're just spilling it all over the place. And it's sort of, running out of the container that is your soul, your mind, your heart, your body, right? So I think one of the things that, Tom, you're missing here is the same thing that I've missed, for sure, my share of leakage, more than my share of leakage, is sharing your ideas with others as needing that as part of your equation here. I don't believe that's a necessary part of the equation. Actually, keeping it to yourself, there, as Pablo sort of indicated with his perspective on that, was keeping it close to you actually helps to build that power and build the steam and build the momentum within yourself. So meditating, great. Of course, that's what that is. That's what you're doing, right? But instead of sharing with others, like for me, a lot of times with my own manifestations, I'm throughout the day, I'm resonating with the vibration of what I want. I'm thinking about it. I'm drumming up what it would feel like to have what it is that I seek. So maybe if you can work on transitioning out of that whole, I've got to share and announce to everyone what I'm going to do and how great it is and whatever. And instead of doing that, keep it close to your chest. Keep it, let it build some steam. Let the seed, water the seed inside your own soul, right? Let it nurture it there. Don't start trying to hand the fruit out and it still hasn't sprouted. Abraham-Hicks, Esther Hicks says, of course, I'm looking for some interesting perspectives regarding this topic. One of the first things I come across. Abraham, as almost always, this quote says, keep your ideas to yourself until they're fully developed. You can have a vision, and if you talk to somebody who's not up to speed with your new vision, they will talk you out of your vision. It happens every time. They will make you face reality. And they will make you feel like a fool. So this is a great perspective. And then I actually found a clip here where Abraham goes into more detail on this topic. I found it on the Dewdrop 157 YouTube page. It's called Keep Your Ideas to Yourself Until They Gain Momentum. Let's take a listen.
So my question's on the same topic that we've been talking about, but it's about two people with the same desire. And if one person's in alignment and the other person isn't, how that can work out? Is it the stronger person in alignment, the one that might get more ease in the direction of what they want?
Things are always working out for everyone. So the one who has less resistance, it works out usually faster and fuller. But the thing that's most interesting about a situation like this is that as you want something, and let's say you want this and another person wants something different. So if you are really in alignment with what you want, if you are in the receptive mode when you think about it, then it's coming to you. And the same for the other. If the other wants something or is aware that they now desire it and they remain in the receptive mode, then what they want is coming. And there is no competition between the two, because the universe will find a way for each of them to get what they want. But the thing that is hindering to these two is that usually this one is not in the receptive mode because this one's worried about that one, and this one's not in the receptive mode because this one's worried about that one. So now this is the conversation we've really got. Abraham, if there are two people not in the receptive mode because they are worried about what the other one wants, then what happens? And we say nobody gets what they want, and they blame each other.
But if you have the desire to have, for instance, we
have another question for you. Do you believe that you need this one's approval or support in order to get what you want? If you believe that you need this one's approval or support to get what you want, then them not giving it to you, of course, would be a hindering factor. But when you are not factoring in the support of another, but you are understanding that your desire is enough to carry it to full fruition, we do not believe that at the heart of anything that anyone wants is something that opposes what's at the heart of what someone else wants, because you all want it because you believe you will be more joyful, or because it will be more fun, or because.
Yeah, I guess specifically, if two people want to go after this one business and one's in alignment and trying to do ease, and the other one's, well, it takes hard work and, this is the way I'm going to do it. Is the one in alignment going to kind of trump that person as far as the direction and the speed that it goes?
Well, you could ignore the one who is in alignment. Alignment trumps everything. So when you're in alignment, another one cannot oppose you enough to slow you down unless you're giving them your attention and pushing against them. And that's the hard thing. That's why you usually want people to agree with you who are up close to you, because when they don't agree and you focus upon their disagreement, then you're not in the receptive mode anymore. So the question is, how can I stay in the receptive mode when I'm up close to someone who disagrees with something that I'm doing? And we say you have to care more about the receptive mode than about their agreement.
So what I try to do, and it seems to work, is when my husband says goes to that place, I just kind of nicely say, everything's already okay. It's my way of kind of changing the thought process he's in to go where I want to stay in alignment.
Well, the thing that we most want to say is that you are the creator of your own reality. And yes, there are those around you who will come in to cooperation with you. And so this is also a conversation about how can I get someone who's uncooperative to become cooperative? And we say, well, it certainly isn't to focus on their lack of cooperation, because that just gets them to stand stronger. And so it really is about, Jerry wrote a paper many, many years ago, and the title of it was, long title, Keep Your Ideas to Yourself Until They Are Fully Developed. And so it's about getting momentum going, because we are certain that no one would oppose something that felt like a good idea to them. And we're certain that no one would oppose something if they were watching evidence of things coming into place. And so what happens sometimes is you get an idea and you may be following out, but you haven't followed it out enough that it really has strong enough momentum to be influential to another. And so what you're actually asking of one another often is, hey, I've got a hunch that this might work out, and I'm wanting you to fully support my hunch. And we would not do that. We wouldn't even talk about a hunch. We would make sure the energy was really moving fully before we ask anyone else to join in with the idea of it. You see what we're getting at? Yes. Don't ask people to go against their intentions or their beliefs in support of yours. Ask them to support their own intentions and their own beliefs. But if you can get to the place where you don't feel like you need someone's support in order for you to have universal support, now you are truly free. And often someone who was a doubter becomes a believer. Someone who didn't think it was a good idea comes to realize that it is a good idea. But almost always these conflicts come because neither one, and in this case usually the one who's sure that they want to do it and not getting the support, you really don't have the momentum in place before you're asking someone else to come along with you. Mm-hmm. It's not easy in a world who believes something when they see it to ask them to believe something before they can see it. It's asking quite a bit. We know these conversations that we have here with the likes of you are really leading edge conversations. We're asking you to allow yourself to produce cooperative emotion based upon things that you can't see. In religious terms, it's called faith. But we're not asking you to believe in something that you're afraid of. We're asking you to believe in something that you're excited by, you see. And so we know it's a lot to ask, but if you can leave even those up close to you sort of out of the equation a little while. Esther would say to Jerry, I really want to talk about this because I want to know what you think. And Jerry would say, I don't think you want to know what I think. I think you want me to agree with what you think. And Esther would say, busted. Because for some reason it was easier for her to think it if he'd think it too. They'd be on an airplane. She had no interest at all in reading anything until he was reading something. Then she's trying to read over his shoulder. He's saying, I can get you your own. She would say, no, I'm not interested until you are. If somebody else can get the energy moving on something, then it does draw your attention to it. And so keep the ideas to yourself until they've gained enough momentum that nothing can slow it down. And then you don't feel resentful of somebody who doesn't join you. You just have mild amusement at their inability to see what you can so clearly see. Yes?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Enough?
Yes.
So yeah, this is great perspectives here. I love how he starts off, the person asking the question is concerned about competition. That's another thing I can relate to many times. I have ideas and I have more ideas than I can keep up with sometimes. And in the past, I had a lot of concerns about competition. Oh, what if someone takes my idea? And what I've come to now is, look, if something's meant for me, it's meant for me, and I don't need to worry about competition. The universe will find a way, she said, to bring both of you what you want. It is such a incredible creator, right? Your higher self, source, whatever you want to call it. It can find ways where everyone gets fulfilled, unless you're bringing an energy of, there's not enough and lack and the competition. Then, of course, what are you going to create? What are you calling into your reality? So letting go of any sort of competition is, I think, a great added point here to what we were talking about earlier. But also, Once again, do we have to always put the ideas out there? Is it necessary? There are points and times where it is necessary. A lot of times I would imagine Tom is probably the vibe I get from Tom is probably similar to what I can relate to in myself. He's just spewing it everywhere. He's so excited, he can barely keep it in. And then of course he's bumping up against people who are going to tell you you're a fool. There's not enough momentum. And keep your ideas closer to your chest until they're fully developed, until the energy is really moving fully. She says, look, then oftentimes a lot of the doubters are converted. And by the way, when you get to where you don't feel like you need that support or validation, now you're truly free. I can definitely relate to that one. Like, what do we need that for? That's a great question for all of us. Like, why do we feel we need some external validation? I mean, I get it. I've definitely been there many, many, many times, but really you don't. If, finding that belief and power in yourself, I would say is a key component to actually manifesting it. Once you start putting the power outside of you, validation outside of yourself, you're on a slippery slope to not necessarily a ride you want to take, right? Because someone else is now has power over you in a sense, right? And, basically what the main conclusion of that, very simple, sweet, short, and to the point, get momentum in place before you ask someone to come along with you. And I think this is a great lesson for us all, a great lesson for me, and hopefully a great lesson for you, Tom. I hope this helps. We are out of imaginary time for this episode, but we shall be back. It has been so lovely to connect, as always. I do have some music to leave you guys with. This is Shankara Encounter, the Beat Farmer remix. Hope you enjoy.
others.